Yeah, I get it. It's in now to be nostalgic for everything 1990s. But does that also mean bad video game adaptations? Here's my immediate thoughts on Borderlands. Hey everyone, this is Lenny here. So I just got out of Borderlands, directed by Eli Roth. This is based off of the popular video game. And I'm just going to come right out and say it. Wow, this was bad. First off, I was the only motherfucker in the entire theater. And I knew that this movie bombed big time at the box office. But man, I did not expect to be the only literal person in the theater. So I was like, okay, sure. That's not ominous at all. But, so yeah, this is based off of the video game and stars Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, Ariana Greenblatt. And they all band together to, it's all like video game stuff. This is, man, if I'm going to get right into it. So, basically Cate Blanchett plays Lilith, and she's a bounty hunter, and Lilith is cool. And, you know, she has, like this red hair that kind of reminds me of like Arcane. Yeah, there are good video game adaptations that out there. They're like Arcane, the Super Mario Brothers movie, the Sonic movies, Last of Us, obviously, even Resident Evil the Resident Evil franchise is fun. But yeah, man, this was, wow. Okay, I'm going off a tangent here just because my brain is still trying to process just what I watched. This really was like watching like one of those really bad, it was like when studios didn't respect the IP or the property, and they were just like, we're just gonna make whatever we want. We have the IP, and we'll take elements of it, and we'll just kind of throw it out there and say, hey, this is what you guys like. Eat it all up. And for full disclosure, I've played the first two Borderlands games, so I'm familiar with the property as well, and familiar with the lore and everything. In regards to, yeah, I'm sorry, man. This is one of those movies this year for me that has just flabbergasted me. I can't believe the people that are in this. I mean, there are Oscar winners in this movie. Okay, let's get back on track. So, Cate Blanchett plays Lilith. She's a bounty hunter, and she's been tasked to find Tiny Tina, who's played by Ariana Greenblatt. And there's, that she's going back to her homeworld, Pandora. At the same time, there's this like prophecy going on that someone's going to open up this vault. There's a group of aliens called the Adridians that left technology for people to be able to exploit or whatever like that. Sure. Tiny Tina ends up being rescued, I suppose, by Kevin Hart's character Roland, who is nothing like the character in the game. And that's the thing too, that Cate Blanchett, I love Cate Blanchett. She's gorgeous. She's absolutely one of the most stunning looking people on planet Earth. But she is not. I don't want to be. She's just not in the right age group. And same with like Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis. They're supposed to be younger characters in the game. I don't want to be one of those guys like, oh, you casted the way, not the but there are things that are just so obvious, especially if you know the game and the games and you've played them and you know of the fan base and how they feel, and the fan base for this IP are really passionate. And I know that there was some major backlash. But yeah, so everyone gets together. Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis is there really to be like an exposition dump to kind of move everyone forward. At the very beginning, Lilith runs into Claptrap, played by Jack Black. Claptrap is a robot that focuses, he runs on one wheel, and he's supposed to be funny. He says that I think when he's introduced, I'm programmed for humor. Yeah, and this script is bad, and I think Eli Roth co-wrote the script, and I think also, if I remember correctly, because there are so many issues that was going on with the production of this movie. It's sort of getting into like legendary status with like the delays and the reshoots, and how long it was in for development hell for, and one of the writers who was part of Last of Us removed his name from the project. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that were going on with this movie. But yeah, you know, let's just say this. The movie and Eli Roth took certain elements of the property of Borderlands. You know, the things about, like, you know, the world of Pandora, you know, the psychos, but they didn't have like psycho outposts or anything like that. But he did nothing new. This was basically his version of like Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy, and failed miserably. I mean, he tried to do this whole, oh, I'm gonna do you know, this ragtag band of misfits, and then we're gonna set them on this wild intergalactic adventure, and we're gonna use like pop music for certain scenes, that we're gonna make it look like it's gonna, you know, their action, and we're gonna be all stylized, and it's gonna also have like this humorous bent to it, and we're gonna also make it you know, look super violence, and, you know, violence. I can't even talk properly because this movie is breaking my brain. But yeah, no, this movie fails on basically every level. It looks horrible. The cinematography is abysmal, honestly. And the green screen, I mean, this is like Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. No, this is like Episode 2 green screen bad. Yeah, Attack of the Clones green screen bad. There are certain moments where I'm watching and I'm just like, how did you guys? I need to figure out. I need to find out what the budget for this movie is, because if the budget for this movie is more than $50 million, I want to know who pocketed that money, because it was not spent on the screen. I'll say the costume design for the characters, yeah, for the most part, yeah, they were accurate. And sure, we can get away with it. Like I said, the movie took elements, but it wasn't funny. There was the thing with Borderlands, the game. It's insane. It, you know, you basically are put on a planet, and you can basically just go ham, and it's super ultra violent. And this movie was also like PG or PG-13. I guess probably PG-13, because they had to throw a lot of like shits in there. But there were no like, everything that the violence was very tame in comparison to other adaptations that we have, or just general. I mean, we just got Wolverine, Deadpool. We just got Deadpool and Wolverine, and that movie is just so over the top in its violence. And then we get this, and it's like, okay, you're not doing anything. First off, there's another movie that just was released 3 weeks better that's doing it way fucking better than you. But then on top of that, you're not even doing anything new with it. This is just like, and there must have been like 15 action scenes that just kind of exploded out of nowhere. This is one of the noisiest movies of 2024. So noisy, in fact, that I actually nodded off for 5 minutes. This movie just made my brain exhausted and bored. And so my brain was just like, fuck this movie, man. So yeah, I lost consciousness. This movie put me literally to sleep, like I was in some sort of like jujitsu grip. Fuck. Yeah, man. This was just ridiculously bad and just didn't capture any of the spirit of the game. Like I said, this was like, and I'll say this, I did not like Five Nights at Freddy's, which was the big video game adaptation film that came out last year, but it was super successful, and the fans, clearly loved that movie. My nephews love that movie, and they love Five Nights at Freddy's. And I was like, you know what? Even if I didn't like the movie as a cinephile or the movie critic or whatever, I at least appreciate that the makers of that film delivered something that catered to the fans and that catered to the taste of the fan base. This, and I'll tell you from my point of view, not just as a cinephile, but as someone who has played the games, this was a fucking insult and slap in the face. It's like Lionsgate was like, and Eli Roth got together and were like, well, hey, we're just going to take the property and just do whatever the fuck we want with it because we have it and we can. And fuck you. We're just going to do it. And that's what it felt like. It really felt like that. And that, yeah, this was like, man, for anyone that remembers back in the day when, we got like really bad video game adaptations and really bad comic book adaptations just because the studios really didn't care about the property. They were just like, the property itself should sell, and the fans will just take anything that we give them as long as it's the property. So we got like the abysmal original Super Mario Brothers movie that had like John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper as, oh my god, as King Koopa, or Bowser, sorry. And yeah, that was, holy shit, that was bad. And it was basically, if I remember correctly, it was like it was like commercial art directors that got the property, and they were like, we're just going to make whatever we want with it. We will take some elements, but then we're just going to make our own like Tim Burton thing. And this feels like Eli Roth taking Borderlands and being like, I'm just going to Eli Roth it up and do whatever I want. And at the same time, Eli Roth, you're one of the like goriest filmmakers out there. I mean, you made the Hostel movies and you just did Thanksgiving last year. What the fuck? Like, why are you making a PG-13 Borderlands movie, dude? What is going on? Like, that a lot of things in this movie just did not make a whole lot of sense. The characters would get into situations that you would think would be dire, and there's no sense of danger. There's actually one part that Cate Blanchett finds a particular MacGuffin artifact in a drawer. And there's, one of the whole points of this movie is they're looking for these keys to open up this vault that the Adrenians, left for everyone. And yeah, there's just no stakes. And the script is so one note. And again, you get things like Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis just won an Oscar. Cate Blanchett is an Oscar-winning actress. And Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis is just there to just drop exposition and just be like, hey, this is what this is for, and this is what we need to do here, and oh, these people are bad, or oh, these people will help us, and yeah, and Jack Black, he was just so awesome in the Super Mario Brothers movie as Bowser, and he's in this. Like, what is happening? What timeline are we living in where we have all this talent? And I mean, Kevin Hart even. He's not even funny. And Kevin Hart is a funny fucking person. And this is the second movie this year that I'm like, Kevin Hart, what the fuck are you doing with your career as a comedian? He was in Lift earlier, and I was like, dude, you weren't funny in that movie at all. What's happening? You weren't funny in this either. I'm just, like I said, I am absolutely flabbergasted by the existence of this film. Yeah. The only person that seemed to look like she was having any fun in the movie was Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina. And you could play it, as her in the game, or as. But man, yeah, it just was a slog. Every scene didn't feel inspired. The music even didn't feel inspired. It was edited horribly. It was just choppy editing. The action scenes were so, and it was one of those movies that had like the shaky cam action, but it was like in like high definition, so things looked. It just had this weird gloss with the shake and again with that green screen, it just looked like there were just moments that just looked like some of the worst of George Lucas's cinematic ambitions. I don't know, man. Wow. This movie broke my fucking brain. This is not only one of the worst movies of the summer, but one of the worst movies of the fucking year. This movie is a bomb. Man, I don't understand how this movie got made. I really don't. I'm not, like, this shouldn't even, I mean, I guess if this showed up on Amazon Prime, like if that was where it was like originally released on, it was like, wait, this is a streaming movie? I mean, I guess I could see it, but I don't, this is like Tubi level for me. Like, this was bad, man. I'm telling you guys, I'm not fronting. This is like Tubi level bad. Like, this is where you should find this movie. This should not exist in theaters. This is grade F Taco Bell meat bad. Like, for your health. Ingest this movie, you're just gonna shit out diarrhea for days and days and days. And I have Crohn's disease. Fuck. Yeah. Those are my immediate thoughts on Borderlands. What did you guys think of the movie? And I really want to hear, especially from those who have played the game and are familiar with the lore. So share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.